masuk ke Dewan. Terus berdiri bagi menyanyikan lagu negaraku, lagu negeri Perak dan bacaan ikrar rukun negara.
Bahawasanya negara kita Malaysia mendukung cita-cita untuk mencapai perpaduan yang lebih erat dalam kalangan seluruh masyarakatnya, memelihara satu cara hidup demokratik, mencipta satu masyarakat yang adil di mana kemakmuran negara akan dapat dinikmati bersama secara adil dan saksama, menjamin satu cara liberal terhadap tradisi-tradisi kebudayaannya yang kaya dan pelbagai corak, serta membina satu masyarakat progresif yang akan menggunakan sains dan teknologi moden. Maka kami, rakyat Malaysia, berikrar akan menumpukan seluruh tenaga dan usaha kami untuk mencapai cita-cita tersebut berdasarkan atas prinsip-prinsip yang berikut. Kepercayaan pada Tuhan. Kesetiaan kepada raja dan negara. Keluhuran perlembagaan. Kedaulatan undang-undang. Kesopanan dan kesusilaan.
Hadirin dipersilakan duduk. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Azmi Muhammad, Pengarah Jabatan Strategik Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris, yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Haji Ahmad bin Haji Burak dan Puan Sri, yang berbahagia Profesor Emeritus Dr. Omar bin Abdul Karim, yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas binti Raja Harun, ahli-ahli keluarga Prof. Dr. Raja Nur Safinas, yang berusaha Cik Nuriha binti Muhammad, Pustakawan Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris, yang berusaha Prof. Madya Dr. Mazura Lais Mastura Muhammad, Dekan Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi, yang berusaha Prof. Dr. Azhar bin Wahid, yang berusaha Prof. Dr. Abdul Halim bin Ali, Profesor Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi, Dekan-Dekan dan Ketua Jabatan, barisan pensyarah, para pelajar serta sidang hadirin yang dihormati sekalian. Selamat datang ke Majlis Syarahan Perdana Pelantikan Profesor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas Raja Harun, Profesor Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi, Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris. Sidang hadirin yang dimuliakan. Burung merpati terbang ke awan, hinggap sebentar di atas dahan. Majlis bermula penuh harapan, moga berjalan penuh keberkatan. Bagi mempergati majlis, dengan segala hormatnya dipersilakan Prof. Madya Dr. Muhammad Anas Al-Musin untuk membacakan doa. Dipersilakan.
الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما، وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما، لا شقيا ولا مطرودا ولا محروما. اللهم نور قلوبنا بنور هدايتك، كما نورت الأرض بنور شمسك، أبدا أبدا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami berkumpul pada hari ini dengan penuh kerendahan hati dan harapan, mengharapkan keberkatan darimu dalam majlis yang mulia ini. Pancarkanlah kepada kami cahaya petunjuk-Mu. Sinarilah hati-hati kami dengan nur ma'rifah-Mu, seperti mana Engkau terangi persada bumi ini dengan cahaya mentari-Mu. Jadikanlah perhimpunan ini sebagai sumber inspirasi, pencetus perubahan dan kecemerlangan. Berilah keberkatan kepada yang menyampaikan dan yang mendengar. Bimbinglah fikiran kami, sucikanlah niat-niat dan hati-hati kami, dan jadikanlah setiap bicara sebagai benih kebaikan yang tertanam dalam hati yang mendamba kebenaran-Mu. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, jadikanlah syarahan perdana ini bukan sekadar permulaan kata-kata, tetapi manifestasi bagi mendamba rahmat dan redha-Mu. O Allah, Lord of light and source of all knowledge, shine upon us the light of your guidance and ma'rifah, which opens the soul and awakens the heart. Grant us knowledge that benefits, understanding that uplifts, and wisdom that leads to righteous action. Make this gathering a source of inspiration, a spark that ignites transformation and excellence. Bless the one who speaks and those who listen. Guide our thoughts, purify our intentions and hearts, and make every word uttered a seed of goodness, planted deep within hearts eager for your truth. Oh Allah, let this inaugural lecture be not just a beginning of speech, but the beginning of hearts turning towards you, from mere engagement to true emancipation of the soul. Send our abundant peace and blessing upon our beloved Prophet, Sayyidina wa Maulana Muhammad, the seal of Prophet, the light in darkness, and upon his family and companions. Amin ya Rabbal Alameen. Rabbana alayka tawakkalna, wa ilayka anabna, wa ilayka al-masir. Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa dhurriyyatina qurrat a'yun, waj'alna lil muttaqina imama. Rabbana iftah bainana wa bain qaumina bil haqq, wa anta khairul fatihin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah, wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adzaban nar. Wa salli Allahumma wa sallim wa barik wa sharif wa majid ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Taqabbalallahu minkum.
Amin, amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Ribuan terima kasih diucapkan kepada Prof. Madya Dr. Muhammad Anas. Sidang hadirin yang dimuliakan, pucuk pauh delima batu anak semilang di tapak tangan, biarpun datang membawa satu kata pembuka kami mulakan. Kini tibalah masa untuk kita mendengar ucapan alu-aluan daripada Yang Berusaha Profesor Dr. Azmi Muhammad, Pengarah Jabatan Strategik Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris. Majlis dengan segala hormatnya mempersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan selamat petang. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Haji Ahmad Borak dan Puan Sri. Yang berbahagia Profesor Emeritus Dr. Omar bin Abdul Karim. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas binti Raja Harun. Yang berusaha Cik Noreha binti Muhammad, Ketua Persekutuan. Yang berbahagia Profesor Madya Dr. Mazura Muhammad, Dekan Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi. Profesor Dr. Azhar bin Wahid, Profesor Dr. Abdul Halim bin Ali, Dekan-dekan dan ketua-ketua jabatan, barisan pengurusan tertinggi Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi, barisan pensyarah, pelajar-pelajar dan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian. Izinkan saya untuk membaca teks ucapan perasmian bagi Majlis Syarahan Budiman pada hari ini mewakili Datuk Naib Chancellor. Pertama sekali izinkan saya merakamkan setinggi kesyukuran kehadrat Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala kerana dengan limpah kurnianya kita dapat bersama-sama menghadiri majlis yang penuh bermakna ini, iaitu syarahan profesor yang disampaikan oleh salah satu tokoh akademik yang unggul di UPSI, iaitu Profesor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas Raja Harun dari Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi. Okay, saya tambah kat sini, untuk rekod setakat ini, beliau antara salah satu penerima yang terakhir daripada UPSI dalam AAN ke-9 pada 2015. Okay. Majlis ini bukan sahaja bertujuan untuk mendengar syarahan ilmiah, malah lebih penting lagi merupakan satu penghormatan terhadap perjalanan akademik yang cemerlang, penuh kepimpinan dan syarat dedikasi dalam bidang pengajaran bahasa Inggeris sebagai bahasa kedua, TESOL. Sesungguhnya Profesor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas bukanlah nama yang asing bagi kita. Sebaliknya, beliau dikenali sebagai tokoh yang sentiasa menjulang pendidikan berkualiti, menghasilkan penyelidikan yang progresif serta menjadi inspirasi kepada warga akademia melalui bimbingan yang sangat berkesan. Seiring dengan itu, sumbangan beliau dalam bidang TESOL sangat besar, artinya bukan sahaja dalam merintis pengembangan teori tetapi juga dalam menangani pelbagai cabaran sebenar bilik darjah, terutamanya dalam konteks Malaysia dan Asia Tenggara. Secara konsisten, hasil kerja beliau mempengaruhi cara bahasa Inggeris diajar dan dipelajari di pelbagai peringkat institusi pendidikan di negara ini. Justru itu, syarahan ini menandakan satu lagi pencapaian penting dalam kerjaya beliau. Dalam tradisi keilmuan seluruh dunia, syarahan profesor merupakan platform tertinggi untuk menghargai para sarjana yang telah mencapai kemuncak dalam kerjaya akademik mereka. Syarahan ini bukan semata-mata penyampaian ilmu, malah turut menjadi medan renungan khususnya kepada anak-anak yang berada di dalam dewan ini, khususnya pelajar FBK, warisan dan hala tuju ilmu pengetahuan. Ia juga merupakan refleksi kepada usaha gigih dan kesungguhan yang berterusan dalam pencarian ilmu serta impaknya kepada masyarakat secara menyeluruh. Di UPSI, seharusnya kami amat berbangga kerana memiliki para sarjana yang bukan sahaja memperkaya khazanah ilmu, malah turut menyumbang secara signifikan kepada kemajuan pendidikan negara. Dalam hal ini, Prof. Raja Nur Safinas merupakan manifestasi kepada misi dan aspirasi tersebut. Kepimpinan beliau dalam pendidikan, penglibatan aktif dalam komuniti serta peranan penting sebagai penyedia pelajar Faskah Siswazah telah meninggalkan kesan mendalam kepada ekosistem akademik dan juga pelajar-pelajar yang dibimbingnya dengan penuh komitmen. Oleh itu, bagi pihak universiti, saya ingin merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan tahniah kepada beliau atas segala sumbangan yang amat bernilai ini. So mungkin kita boleh bagi tepukan kepada Prof. Raja. Mudah-mudahan majlis ini turut menjadi sumber inspirasi kepada para akademik muda, khususnya dalam mencapai kejayaan yang berimpak, sebagai contohnya penerima EAN, iaitu salah satu anugerah berprestij di peringkat KPT, agar terus mengejar kecemerlangan, menembusi batasan ilmu serta tidak pernah jemu dalam menuntut pengetahuan. Akhir kata, kepada Prof. Raja Nur Safinas, saya ucapkan terima kasih yang tak terhingga atas jasa dedikasi yang telah dicurahkan bagi pihak pengurusan universiti, hingga terus menjunjung tinggi nilai-nilai UPSI serta menjadi teladan yang cemerlang buat kita semua. Dengan lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, saya dengan sukacitanya merasmikan syarahan profesor ini. Semoga majlis ini menjadi manfaat dan pencerahan kepada semua yang hadir. Terima kasih. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Majlis merangkamkan ucapan terima kasih kepada Prof. Dr. Azmi atas ucapan itu tadi. Hadirin sekalian, jika hendak mengenal orang berbangsa, lihat kepada budi dan bahasa. Jika hendak mengenal orang yang berbahagia, sangat memelihara yang biasa-biasa. Jika hendak mengenal orang mulia, lihatlah kepada perilakunya. Jika hendak mengenal orang berilmu, bertanya dan belajar, tiadalah jemu. Hadirin sekalian, demikianlah kias ibarat untuk memperkatakan tokoh ilmuwan hebat kita pada petang ini yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas Raja Harun. Bagi memperkenal tokoh ilmuwan kita dengan lebih lanjut, majlis dengan segala hormatnya mempersilakan yang berusaha Profesor Madya Dr. Mazura Lais Mastura Muhammad, Dekan Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi, untuk menyampaikan ucapan. Dipersilakan.
Aina minta izin ya. First, can we cite Al-Fatihah to our students who have gone, and keduanya kepada arwah Profesor Madya Dr. Maizatul Liza. It is because of her that all of us are in green today. Okay, Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Azmi bin Muhammad, Wakil Naib Chancellor Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Haji Ahmad Burak bin Haji Burak, dan Puan Sri. Yang berbahagia Profesor Emeritus Dr. Umar bin Abdul Karim, Keluarga Profesor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas binti Raja Harun yang berusaha Encik Muhammad Najib bin Muhammad, Bendahari Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris, yang berusaha Cik Noriha binti Muhammad, Ketua Perpustakaan, Profesor Dr. Azhar bin Wahid, Profesor Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi, Profesor Dr. Abdul Halim Ali, Profesor Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi, dekan-dekan dan ketua-ketua jabatan, barisan pengurusan tertinggi Fakulti Bahasa dan Komunikasi, barisan pensyarah, pelajar-pelajar yang kami kasihi, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian. Izinkan saya untuk menyampaikan ucapan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow academicians and dear students, it gives me an immense pleasure and a deep sense of pride to stand before you today to share the remarkable journey of one of Malaysia's leading scholars and educational leaders in the field of teaching English as a second language, Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas binti Raja Harun. A name that has become synonymous with excellence in teacher education, reflective practice, and transformative pedagogy. Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas is not only an esteemed professor, but also a mentor, an innovator, an advocate for educational reform. Her story is one of vision, dedication, and relentless pursuit of impact across classrooms, institutions, and beyond. Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas was born on 19 October 1970 in Sungai Petani, Kedah. Surrounded by all females, she is the third out of 4 siblings. Her late father, retired Major Raja Harun Raja Ismail, was an army officer, and her late mother, Wan Zaida binti Wan Abdul Majid, was a primary school teacher. Being brought up from a middle-income family, Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas was always been grateful for her parents' upbringing. Her grandfather, Raja Ismail Raja Ahmad Tajuddin, is the grandson of Almarhum Sultan Abdullah Muhammad Shah II, Ibni Almarhum Sultan Jaafar Saifuddin Muazzam Shah Waliullah, the 26th Sultan of Perak, from his second marriage to Cik Puan Rasia, making her the 6th generation of Almarhum Sultan Abdullah. She had her early education in Sekolah Kebangsaan Port Dickson, Sekolah Marian Convent Ipoh, and Sekolah Rendah Kuala Ampang, Ampang Selangor. She began her secondary school in Sekolah Menengah Puteri Wilayah Kuala Lumpur before leaving to continue her studies in Mara Junior Science College in Terendak Camp, Melaka. In 1996, she married Mr. Kamal Dahalan, a history teacher. She gave birth to 3 sons, Megat Daniel Mikhail. Can you stand? Megat Ikmal Haikal and Megat Jibril Ashman. They are the gems of her eye. Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas began her academic journey at Universiti Pertanian Malaysia, where she did her TESOL matriculation and earned her bachelor degree in education, specializing in teaching English as a second language in 1994. Even at that early stage, she displayed a passion for language education and a keen awareness of the challenges faced by English language learners in Malaysia's multilingual and multicultural context. Her English teaching career began in 1995 when she was posted to SMK Munshi Abdullah, Sungai Air Tawar, Sabak Bernam, Selangor. Her desire to deepen her knowledge led her to pursue her master's in TESOL at the International Islamic University, Malaysia in 1999. This formative phase marked her growing interest in teacher education and curriculum development. But her academic pursuit did not stop there. Upon joining Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris in 2000, she gained a scholarship to pursue her doctoral degree. Full stop. In 2006, she was awarded a Doctor of Philosophy in TESOL from the prestigious University of Exeter in United Kingdom, an institution known for its excellence in education, the research. Her PhD journey not only expanded her theoretical grounding, but also positioned her on a global stage, equipping her with research skills and international perspective that would later define much of her work. Today, she serves as the Dean of Institute of Graduate Studies at Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris, and we can see that the whole IPS is closed today, because all of them are here, and a role that places her at the heart of postgraduate research development in Malaysia. She was also the former Dean of the Faculty of Languages and Communication. Yes, I took over her place from 2012 and 2016, and also the Deputy Dean of Academic and Institute of Graduate Studies from 2007 and 2012. As a senior academic within the Faculty of Languages and Communication, her leadership has shaped postgraduate supervision models, curriculum structures, and institutional strategies to promote research excellence and internationalization. Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas' research reflects a strong commitment to practice-based inquiry and innovation in language education. She has led multiple national-funded research projects, many under the auspices of the Ministry of Higher Education, Malaysia. These projects are not mere academic exercise. They have directly influenced curriculum design, assessment practice, and teacher training modules in Malaysia, bridging theory and practice in meaningful ways. One of the most inspiring dimensions of Prof. Dr. Raja Nur Safinas' work lies in her role as the research supervisor and mentor. To date, she has successfully supervised 16 PhD candidates and 22 master students to completion, a testament of her dedication in nurturing scholarly growth and intellectual curiosity. Please give her a round of applause. And we can see some of them are here today. For each of these scholars, she has served not just as an academic guide, but also as a coach, a motivator, and a compassionate listener. Her supervision style combines high expectations with personalized support, a balance that has empowered many to reach academic heights that they never once dreamt before. Her approach aligns with what she promotes in teacher education, critical reflection, learner agency, and transformative engagement. She believes that every postgraduate student at Faculty of Languages and Communication must find their voice, and her mentorship helps them to do exactly that. Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas is also a prolific author. Her works appear in Scopus Index journals, International Education Journal, and conference proceedings. These publications not only reflect scholarly depth, but also practical value. They are widely cited and used in teacher education programs, both in Malaysia and internationally. Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas is regularly invited to serve as a PhD external examiner, panel evaluator, and academic consultant. From 2018 to 2020, she served on the English Language Standard Qualification Council, contributing to the development and maintenance of English language education standards. She continued her international service from 2022 to 2024 as Deputy Cluster Education and Human Development under the Majlis Professor or National Professor Council. In 2022, she played a pivotal role in the Malaysia English Assessment or MEA project, or known as ELHAM, a national initiative focused on strengthening language proficiency among Malaysian learners. Her insights into assessment design, policy, and pedagogy have made her a respected voice in national dialogues on language education reform. Over the years, Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas' work has earned her numerous accolades. These awards reflect more than just recognition. They underscore her impact, her innovation, and her influence at the international and the national stage. Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas' professional journey is grounded in values, the 3 E's: engagement, empowerment, and emancipation, the very principles that she promotes in her speeches, workshops, and supervision sessions. She believes that education is not merely about transmission of knowledge. It is also about transforming lives. Her legacy is being built not just through her publications or her institutional roles, but through the people she empowers, the students, the educators, the researchers, and the communities. As an academic leader, she continuously advocates for inclusivity, reflective professionalism, and meaningful pedagogical change. Her work ensures that English language education in Malaysia is not only globally competitive, but also locally grounded and socially responsive. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to see not just the list of degrees, positions, or awards. Look instead at the impact on the classroom, on the policy, on the research, and most importantly, on the people that she has empowered. Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas binti Raja Harun stands as a beacon of excellence in higher education. She exemplifies what it means to lead with purpose, to teach with heart, and to inspire through action. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in celebrating the outstanding contributions of Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas, an educator, a scholar, a leader, and a true change maker. Thank you.
Ribuan terima kasih diucapkan kepada Prof. Madya Dr. Mazura Alias Mastura Muhammad atas ucapan pengenalan tokoh sebentar tadi. Sidang hadirin sekalian, telah pun kita ketahui secebis daripada episod perjalanan akademik beliau. Kini tibalah saat yang dinanti-nantikan. Tanpa melengahkan masa lagi, majlis dengan segala hormatnya mempersilakan penyampai syarahan perdana pelantikan Profesor pada petang ini, Profesor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas Raja Harun, untuk menyampaikan syarahan beliau yang bertajuk Transformative ESL Teacher Education, A Pathway from Engagement to Emancipation. Dengan hormat takzimnya, dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Azmi bin Muhammad, Wakil Naib Chancellor Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Haji Ahmad bin Haji Burak dan Puan Sri. Yang berbahagia Profesor Emeritus Dr. Omar bin Abdul Karim, my beloved family, yang berusaha Cik Noreha binti Muhammad, yang berbahagia Profesor Madya Dr. Mazura Elias Mastura Muhammad, friends and everybody who are present today. With the grace and blessings of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, it is with deep gratitude. Saya mohon maaf ya. Saya perlu meminta izin terlebih dahulu. Jadi Dewan yang saya muliakan, saya mohon izin untuk menggunakan bahasa Inggeris selaku profesor dalam bidang ini. Terima kasih. With the grace and blessings of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, it is with deep gratitude and great humility that I stand before all of you today to deliver this inaugural professorial talk. I am grateful and honored to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to have been entrusted with the title of professor. And I carry this title not as a personal achievement alone, but as a shared milestone with all of you who have walked with me. Mentors who challenge me. Prof. Omar, is one of my mentors. Please give him a big round of applause. Students who have inspired me. I saw my former student, Eugins, Mr. Eugin. Am I correct? Yeah, because you look a bit different now. So students who have inspired me, peers who collaborated with me, and not forgetting all my family members who have been supporting me all the way. Today, I invite you to join me in reflecting on a journey that is both personal and professional, theoretical as well as practical. The title of my address is Transformative Pedagogy in ESL Teacher Education, A Pathway to Engagement, Empowerment and Emancipation. It represents not only a philosophy of teaching, but a compass that has guided my work as a teacher educator committed to meaningful change. Ladies and gentlemen, I was an English teacher for 6 years, and my first posting was in SMK Munshi Abdullah Sungai Aitawa, Sabak Bernam, Selangor, a village school in 1995, as you can see in the photo. This is one of the photos I cherish the most. When I first entered the school, accompanied by my late mom, the students all rushed to the balcony. They seemed excited. Probably they knew, there was a new English teacher coming to the school, And I was like pretty nervous, I felt like a celebrity, everybody rushed to the balcony and all eyes were actually staring at me. However, when I entered the staff room, it was a total silence. I sensed something might be off. And I went to the canteen, and I remembered asking my mom, what language are all these people speaking? You know? And my mom whispered to me, and she said, I told you, this is a Jawa and a Banjar community. And I end up marrying one. At that time, I said to my mom, oh, they exist. I thought, it was a history that I learned in the course Race and Ethnics in UPM. I was very naive. I told the principal I needed to go somewhere, and he was worried I would disappear. And he told my mom there was no English teacher for almost 6 months then. But my mom, being a teacher herself, she said to the pengatur, don't worry, besok dia datang. Okay? So, can you guess what I did? I went to a shop on the main road of Sungai Besar and bought headscarves of different colors with the RM 100 ringgit that my sister gave me. My sister is here today, Raja Noriza. Can you please stand up? Okay. I made a good use of her 100 ringgit. I bought all the colors of headscarves, okay? And when I went to the school the next day, there were totally different reactions. The teachers welcomed me, talked to me, and I felt so comfortable. For the first time, being a KL girl was no longer a privilege or something that I should be proud of. As for English, English is definitely a foreign language. The world that I had and believed in at that time was totally a different world in the school and that I was posted to. The background in the photo, kenapa saya berada di sekolah ini, has a strong significance to me because that school taught me. It taught me how to be humble, how to be adaptive, and how to see the world from my learners' perspectives, and to share with them what's out there for them to see and explore. This valuable experience is the impetus of who I am today. What I'm trying to say to all the student teachers, please do not escape your first posting. Ladies and gentlemen, my example, although it was many moons ago, still bears its significance until now. And that could be one of the reasons, as a teacher-educator, I coach my ESL student teachers to explore their evolving identity, to be grounded in practice, to liberate their thinking in knowing how to, and most importantly, not to deceive them in the world of perfection, because the truth is we are living in times of profound complexity. Global migration in schools, especially in many semi-urban schools, linguistic diversity, socio-political tensions, and technological challenges are reshaping our classroom in unpredictable ways. In ESL, English as a second language education, we stand at a pivotal moment. We are not just teaching a language, we are also shaping identities, mediating cultures, and more importantly, enabling futures. Traditional approaches to teacher education are no longer enough. Technical know-how, while necessary, is insufficient. What we need is a paradigm shift, one that sees education not as the transfer of information, but as a process of transformation. I am glad that we have been making the changes in UPSI, but we need everyone, teacher educators and student teachers, not only to embrace, but to internalize such change. Transformative pedagogy calls for teachers to be reflective practitioners, social critics, and ethical leaders. It invites us to interrogate assumptions, disrupt inequality, and reimagine education as a space for justice, liberation, and hope. In ESL teacher education, this means preparing English teachers who are not only linguistically competent, but critically conscious, not only skilled, but socially responsible. To all my fellow teacher educators, our products are not things. We are dealing with people. And at the core of it is human development. We are scholars who are committed to understanding teaching as a social practice. Our lecture rooms are our laboratories, not conclusive at times, that's why we don't make a lot of money, but have an impact on the teaching fraternity. My passion has always been teacher education, and no doubt that I have not been teaching undergraduates for the past 4 years. I had 15 over years of fair share doing research in my own courses and also with my student teachers. These 3 principles, which I have shared immensely through the NRGS research and the university course Inaugural Professorial, are the engagement, empowerment, and emancipation. The first principle is engagement. In our field, it often begins with the surface: student participation, attentiveness, or motivation. These are what most of us are doing. But deeper engagement involves connection to self, to others, to ideas. It is relational, it is emotional, it is intellectual. In the ESL context, engagement means making learning meaningful and contextualized. It means centering student teachers' voices, acknowledging their multilingual identities, and fostering safe spaces for authentic expression. For that, I have developed my own teaching and learning principles, which I shared at the beginning of my courses with my student teachers. These are not principles I pluck out of thin air or with the help of our current buddy, ChatGPT, but it took me 10 years to discover these principles, and it was the outcome of deep reflection upon submission of my teaching portfolio for AAN in 2014. My teaching and learning principles encompasses 8 pedagogical beliefs which govern my teaching and learning. I believe I need to educate. Educating helps my student teachers to discover their own meaning to the learning experiences which they encounter. I believe that student teachers have their own strengths and weaknesses. These vary from one person to the other. Therefore, the subjective interpretation of each student teacher has to be explored in assisting them on learning how to teach. I believe that student teachers need a supportive environment which could facilitate them in discovering meaning on how to teach. I believe that student teachers need to be engaged in the process of learning how to teach by listening to other people's experiences and sharing their ideas with others. I believe that student teachers need to explore their personal beliefs and discover how their personal identities can be matched to the expected professional identities as prospective teachers. I believe that educating student teachers is a dynamic process which enriching learning experiences and reflecting on these experiences could assist them to construct meaning in learning how to teach. I believe that student teachers need to be coached to be thinking of their own practices and thus become thinking teachers with good teaching, with good understanding of their own pedagogical reasoning. And finally, I believe that student teachers need to evoke their soul for teaching, and this should be governed by strong moral and ethical concerns. To date, these teaching and learning principles are still relevant to me. What changes are just the methods and techniques. I once tested these teaching and learning principles to a group of student teachers whom I taught classroom discourse. I told my student teachers that I've taken these principles from a professor in a UK university. I asked them to discuss the kind of lecturer they could figure out from the written discourse. And I said by week 8, I would tell them who was the lecturer. To be honest, by week 8, I had forgotten. And they reminded me. They said they figured out already. When I asked who, they unanimously screamed, "You." I said, "How did you know?" And they said they could match the principles with my style of teaching. That indeed was one of the rewarding moments in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, for our student teachers, we must model what engaged teaching looks like. A classroom where learners question and collaborate. A lesson that begins with curiosity and ends with shared understanding. A pedagogy that is dialogic, reflective, and alive. The second principle is empowerment. If engagement is about connection, empowerment is about agency, the capacity to act with intention and purpose. Empowerment means enabling our student teachers to reclaim their identities as competent, creative professionals. It means building critical consciousness, where they begin to see the links between language, power, and pedagogy. They are autonomous in their thinking, decision-making, and actions based on sound pedagogical reasoning of situational context. In other words, I do not encourage my student teachers to work within my framework of reference. Collaboratively, they work in groups, they churn ideas, and I give feedback to scaffold them to the level that I want them to achieve. For this reason, I call my student teachers my AOC, my agents of change. Give a round of applause to one of my agents of change here, Mr. Huggins. Is there anybody else here? Can you please stand up? Is there anybody else, Huggins? No? Who's that? Please stand up. Okay, great. When I was teaching, they were very young. So I called them my agents of change. This is not just a term or a label. It was a motivation for them, and they were proud of it. It changed the dynamics of the classroom. Active learning happened. At present, it's no longer relevant for us to be the sage of sage. Our role is to become the guide by the side, on the side, and a meddler in the middle. This empowerment in terms of thinking is important for the student teachers to enhance their VSK, values, skills, and knowledge. We want them to be socially contextual teachers who have the ability to adjust practice based on the specific social context of specific classrooms and schools. It is through our activities, approaches that we can materialize this. I call this empowerment as thinking teachers, until one day I learned a new term from a prominent educator, a policy maker, someone who is renowned in the education field, Professor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Ibrahim Bajunid. I am grateful to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for creating the path for me to meet so many inspirational people, and he is one of them. When he became one of the UPSI Board of Directors, in one of the meetings, he wanted to observe a few classes, and my class was chosen. I have to admit that it was pretty exciting to have me showcase my class. So I told my students, and they teased me, "Doctor, you must be DTS." DTS is one of the acronyms that we use in class to motivate them, actually, dying to show. Sometimes when I joke with them, I said dying to show off, okay? Which group is DTS, or which group is dying to show off what they have discovered? So, I did not prepare a special lesson for him because I wanted him to see the actual practice. Guess what? That was the day when we had power failure. I had to change the lecture room. So your practicum is nothing. I had to change the lecture room. And a few minutes after I started the lecture, the air condition stopped functioning. After about 1.5 hours, I stopped the class and I approached him and I said, "Dato, it's not always that I get to have a prominent figure in my class. I'm sure the student teachers are GTA, dying to ask a lot of questions, and true enough, they asked him many questions. So he was very pleased. And I remembered him saying, "Thank you for allowing me to come to your cave." "Cave?" I said. And he said, "Yeah, because usually it is a dark secret between the lecturer and the learners and the students, because nobody else would enter the class." So he said to my student teachers, "You are lucky, and work with her to become accomplished thinkers." An accomplished thinker, ladies and gentlemen, is someone whose intellectual skills and virtues have become second nature in his or her lives. The key characteristics are systematic approach, deep understanding of thinking, self-monitoring, and reflection. Intellectual character, problem-solving skills, fair-mindedness, and continuous improvement. Again, these are not just soothing words. They have been put into practice, tried out, and examined. It was a hard work, but very fulfilling and exciting. In doing so, we have to acknowledge that our student teachers have diverse abilities. Therefore, teacher educators should know who and when to push and pull. There was a time that we had several groups running at the same time, and all the boys dropped my course, and they joined another group. My class that semester was all girls, because the boys heard from the seniors, "With her, you have to do a lot of work." You cannot just sit in the class, you have to talk and you have to do many activities, okay? However, I was not offended. In fact, to me, it was a blessing. The girls did a tremendous job and we had a fulfilling semester. The final and most powerful principle is emancipation. freedom from structures that confine thought, expression, and identity. The term liberation in education is from critical pedagogy. To set yourself free, not from legal actions. It doesn't mean that when you hear the word liberation, oh, this is, you're in trouble, that, you have to liberate yourself from something. It's not that in education, okay? But it's actually to stop you from having limiting thoughts and behavior. Most importantly for student teachers, from not knowing what to do. It would be very sad when you encounter situations and you feel that, oh, okay, what should I do? Okay? So in many ways, ESL classroom is a microcosm of the world. It is where language, culture, and ideology intersect. For some, it is a space of growth. For others, a site of struggle. Transformative pedagogy seeks to liberate, not just grammatically or linguistically, but existentially. It allows learners to challenge assumptions, embrace their multilingual realities, and confront and reflect their evolving identity. This is not abstract theory. Reflective practice is a powerful tool for students to negotiate and mediate practice. I remember Dr. Jack was saying to me last 2 days, I think, my God, Prof, you made us write so many reflective entries. Dr. Jack, please stand up. Dr. Jack was one of my students also. The book Metaphors of Practice, Figurative Language in ESL Student Teachers, Practicum Reflection, exemplifies some form of empowerment and emancipation. This is the work of my student teachers, the work of Eugene's batch. As part of the in-class activities reflecting on their practicum experience. When I read their descriptions of the metaphors they use, I realized it was a powerful tool for them to explain their experiences, which might otherwise be difficult to explain in literal terms. Their voices, inner thoughts, feelings, practice, and development of identity were better understood. It was shared and discussed in class as part of reflection for them to feel assured that doubt and uncertainties are common feelings which can lead to better understanding. There's a Korean drama, I think, It's Okay Not to Be Okay, okay? Something like that. Getting them to discover who they are as prospective English teachers, negotiating between professional and personal identity is also a form of emancipation. Contesting and confronting these identities allows student teachers to understand that they have a choice and nothing is fixed in stone. We evolve and keep on evolving. Our professional and personal identities are not static. Prof. Raja 20 years ago and Prof. Raja now, not the same. Please don't think of the size or the weight or whatever, okay? But she is still Prof. Raja. This is what emancipation is all about. The power to be, to do, and to act. The publication of this book is my way of saying to all my student teachers, thank you for inspiring me to become the best that I possibly could. The classroom has become a space for possibility, where not only language but life itself is reimagined. So, ladies and gentlemen, I envision a future where ESL teacher education is critical, where student teachers question rather than comply. Culturally responsive, where diverse voices are central, not peripheral. Collaborative, where knowledge is shared, not delivered. I see curricula that integrate social linguistic awareness, dialogic inquiry, and project-based learning. I imagine assessment that value reflection, creativity, and growth over compliance and standardization. But most importantly, I dream of teacher education that is humanizing, that sees every student teacher as worthy, every story as valid, and every classroom as a site for transformation. This vision is not mine alone. It belongs to all of us who believe that education can and must be a force for good. I have only 4.5 hours. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? I have only 4.5 years more to go before my retirement. I know I don't look my age. Just joking. For the young lecturers, the sky is the limit. Explore, explore, explore. I once remembered Prof Emeritus Ayanda, Prof Emeritus Abdullah Hassan once said, "Your biggest enemy is not other people. Your biggest enemy is you yourself, especially in the university. If we were to have 10 professors in the English language and literature department, why not? Nobody is stopping us, so please." Ladies and gentlemen, before I end this talk, I would like to extend my gratitude and thanks to all those who are present today and those who are online watching live sessions, to Dean of Faculty of Languages and Communication, head of the department, all my ELL colleagues and administrative staff, the Institute of Graduate Studies, PPA, Pusat Pembangunan Akademik, BKK, Bahagian Komunikasi Korporat, ICT, PKM, Pejabat Karang Mengarang, okay? And all my family members who are present today. Thank you for being part of this memorable event for me. This event would have been complete with the presence of both my late mom and dad, but of course, Allah loves them more, and inshallah, they are in a better place. This inaugural talk was initially entrusted to the late Associate Professor, Dr. Maizatul Liza Muhammad, to organize it in April, but it was postponed due to a few departments' scheduled retreat. I remembered in one of her texts, she asked me if I had decided the color to wear today. And I said yellow because it's my parents' favorite. She asked me, what color do you think we should wear so as not to overshadow you? And I said to her, you don't worry, any colors will do. You guys definitely will not overshadow me. And to my surprise, because we are very close, you know, when close friends, they always, say nasty things to each other. So that was the first time that she, not really first time, there were a few instances that she just kept quiet, okay? And there were a few other instances as well, a month before her passing. I was aware of this change, but I thought we are all in our 50s, okay? Not you guys, okay? I mean, so because of that, we have actually mellowed down, okay? I never guessed that she was actually leaving us. Her passing has left this void, and personally, going to the faculty has become a challenge. My escapism is being in IPS. The last time I was in FBK, I felt like my heart had been ripped to pieces. Today is the 24th, and in 2 days, 26 marks her 2 months of passing. I know deep inside us, we are all still grieving. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a moment of silence to recite Al-Fatiha to those who have left us for eternity. Al-Fatiha. That was a photo that we took when we had a visit. Of course, it's educational visit to Perth, okay? But our educational visit always end up with, a lot of fun things as well, because it's common among the TESOL lectures, okay? And in that picture, Dr. Maiza has left us, and also a dear friend also, Professor Madya, Dr. Siti Sania, okay, next to Dr. Hasimah Jafar. So, no words can actually describe. When Dr. Siti Sania left us, I was trembling, even though she suffered from cancer, and I knew she was leaving, but still I couldn't face it, I was like a lot better, not a lot better, but I could manage myself better when Dr. Maiza passed away. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, at the end of the day, okay, we have to cherish those who are very close to us, especially our family members. Even though my husband has a high tolerance for me being a nomad, okay, moving from hotel to hotel for workshops, but still, to me, family comes first. Thank you again, and may Allah bless us all. Wabillahi taufiq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Majlis mengucapkan setinggi-tinggi tahniah, syabas dan terima kasih kepada Prof. Dr. Raja Nur Safinas Raja Harun atas perkongsian ilmu yang amat bermakna itu tadi. Sidang hadirin yang budiman, sebelum ke agenda seterusnya, marilah kita sama-sama menyaksikan tayangan video ini.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Nur Atika. I've had the honor of being one of Prof. Raja's students since my undergraduate days. One thing that really stood out to me about Prof. Raja was how she took the time to carefully go through all of our work. The constructive feedback she provided was incredibly valuable and helped me grow in so many ways. Her insights opened my eyes to areas I could improve on, and that realization made me appreciate her classes even more. She is such a dedicated and thoughtful educator. You can truly feel her passion for shaping and uplifting her students. Prof. Raja, thank you for your unwavering support and inspiration. Your commitment has left a meaningful mark on my academic journey. Congratulations on your professorship. We're all so proud of you.
My name is Darryl Albright Anadobus John. I am a master graduate in instruction technology and also an alumni of teaching English as a second language from our beloved faculty, FBK. Currently, I am an English lecturer and also the current strength coach over in Betong Vocational College. Prof. Raja is a name that you will always remember because she is a legend over there. And you study TESOL under her semester or under her class, you'll know who you will be called as, Agent of Change or AOC. Through her time teaching in University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, she showed tremendous dedication, tremendous passion towards teaching English, especially the future English teachers. And I hope that we carry her passion as agent of change in the education field so that we can create more amazing individuals in the future. So Prof, thank you very much for pushing me forward, giving me the motivation to complete my degree. I completed my master's and I'm truly honored seeing you opening my session back in November when I graduated my time in UPSI. So, Doctor, congratulations on your professorship. May you impact many more lives like the lives of ours. Thank you, Doctor. See you. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Nurul Huda binti Abdul Hamid, and I am the Senior Academic Director at Global Academic Sendirian Berhad. Okay, so Professor Raja Dr. Nur Safinas binti Raja Harun, she wasn't just a lecturer to me. Okay, she's also my academic advisor, my FYP, and also my teaching practice supervisor. Okay, so one memory that I would love to share with everyone was during my FYP season. My friends, most of them were stuck at their hometown and we couldn't really progress much with our writing because, back then everyone was confused, everyone was lost. So what did Prof. Raja do? She paid for my friends' tickets, all of them, just so that they could come back here safely, focus on our writing. Okay, so that is something that really stayed with us all this while. That is an act of kindness that changed a lot, meant a lot for all of us. Okay, so Prof. Raja, on behalf of all my friends, we really thank you. Without you, we will not be who we are right now. Without you, I will not be who I am. So I pray that you will always be granted the best in this dunya and also the akhirat. Okay, you will always be in our hearts. You will always be in our prayers. Thank you so much. Also, I would like to congratulate our Prof. Raja. Okay, congratulations for your professorship. You truly deserve this. We witness how much efforts and hard work that you put into this. So we really are happy for you. Congratulations.
Hello everyone, my name is Safinas and I've recently been appointed as a lecturer at the Faculty of Human Development, UPSI. Prof. Raja has been a guiding light throughout my academic journey, from a degree in TESOL and a master's, as my capital lecturer, practical supervisor, and research supervisor. There is something about her presence, a quiet strength, and undeniable aura. She saw something in me long before I ever did, a spark, a voice, a potential that was dying to be heard. And she believed in that, in me. She is a brilliant mind, and through her, I saw what it truly means to teach. I learned how to hold space for others, just as she held space for me. After going through it all, I know how to be a better teacher, because I was taught by one of the best. Congratulations, Professor Raja, on this well-deserved honor. Thank you for being more than just a teacher. Wishing you love, health, and continued brilliance.
Hi, I'm Eugen Putusami. I graduated from UPSI on 2020, and I'm currently serving as the private secretary for the Minister of Education. I first met Prof. Raja when she taught us a subject called Pedagogy, Technology and Assessment. In my class, there were around 30 students, and I was probably the only one who wasn't fully into teaching at that time, actually. But Prof. Raja, she had this very motherly touch, very gentle, encouraging, and she always gives us words of encouragement. And she made me believe in myself at that time. And she didn't really force me to become teacher, but she nurtured me to be the change maker. She always called us agent of changes. That's what made the difference, actually. As someone more drawn to leadership and also other soft skills activities, she helped me connect my passion with education. Today, I've got both as an educator and also as a leader in the public service. Prof. Raja, thank you for believing in me, believing in us, and for shaping lives far beyond the classroom. Congratulations on your professorship. The TESOL fam is proud of you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Fletcher Arlene and I'd like to share how truly inspiring Professor Raja is to me. Professor Raja is the kind of person who's always moving forward, constantly learning, creating, and improving. Yet she's never too busy for her students. Whenever we needed guidance, whether it's about our career, academic work, or just some life advice, she's always quick to help and she does it with genuine care. What makes her so inspiring is not just her knowledge, but the way she lives it. She embodies what it means to be a passionate educator, focused, kind, and driven. I feel truly lucky to have learned from her. Thank you, Professor, for being a shining example of what we can aspire to be. And congratulations.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Siti Nur Ifadila binti Suaif or Ifa. I'm currently an English lecturer at one of the universities in Johor Bahru. As one of TESOL students of Prof. Raja, I find that she is a very inspiring person. She was not just an educator. She has inspired the kind of a lecturer I strive to be every day. Honestly speaking, Prof. Raja holds a special place in my heart because she was not just a lecturer. She was like a mother to me. When I had rough days, she stood by me through life's hardest moments, especially when I lost my mother back in 2022. She even visited me in the hospital during a complicated pregnancy. She helped me in my studies, yes, but more than that, she helped me as a human being. I always loved her classes. That's actually where I first learned the word scaffolding. It was just a teaching method. It has now become a life philosophy. Prof. Raja Nur Safinas did not just teach, she transformed lives actually. Because of her, I learned that true educators, they don't just build minds, they build hearts too. And I carry her values into every class I teach, especially TESOL classes that I'm currently teaching. Thank you, Prof. Raja, for teaching me how to teach and how to care. I love you so much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amrit from UPSI. I had the privilege of being supervised by Prof. Raja during my master's and PhD studies. From my experience, Prof. Raja always set high expectations for students, and that pushed me to work harder than I ever thought possible. Knowing that I was initially quite introvert, she guided me through my first 2 presentations at international conferences outside Malaysia. This experience was a turning point for me. Her belief in me transformed me from an introvert into a keynote speaker in Indonesia and Sri Lanka during my PhD study. Who I am today is largely due to her dedication. Well, Prof. Raja, after my parents, all credit goes to you. Thank you for believing in me. Your mentorship shaped who I am today as a scholar and an educator. Congratulations on your professorship. You truly deserve this recognition.
Hi everyone, I'm Andy Reza Rohadian, a proud UPSI alumni. Now, let me take you back to the time I met the Professor Dr. Raja Nur Safinas. It was during my internship at Habib Jewels. She greeted me with the warmest smile, laughed easily, and made me feel like I truly belonged. Since then, we've stayed in touch. Even after I graduated from UPSI and began my journey at RTM, Prof. Raja never stopped cheering me on. She followed my progress and offered words of encouragement. And most recently, I ran into her at UKM just before my master's class. It was unplanned but perfectly timed. Seeing her again reminded me of the kind of human being I aspired to be. Brilliant, passionate, and yet so remarkably humble. To Prof. Raja, thank you so much. You are and always will be one of the brightest lights in my journey. And if I'm lucky, I'll be that light for someone else someday. Inshallah. Take care and hope to see you again as soonest. Bye.
Demikianlah tadi sedutan tayangan video ringkas yang memuatkan ucapan dan testimoni dari bekas pelajar-pelajar Prof. Dr. Raja Nur Safinas. Seterusnya, majlis dengan segala hormatnya menjemput kesemua tetamu kehormat untuk tampil ke hadapan bagi acara peluncuran dan penyerahan buku syarahan perdana pelantikan profesor sebagai tanda penghargaan. Metaphors of Practice, Figurative Language in ESL Student Teachers Practicum Reflection. Dipersilakan Prof. Dr. Azmi untuk menerima buku syarahan perdana pelantikan profesor daripada Prof. Dr. Raja Nur Safinas. Seterusnya dipersilakan Prof. Madya Dr. Mazura untuk menyampaikan cenderahati daripada Jabatan Bahasa dan Kesusasteraan Inggeris kepada Prof. Dr. Raja Nur Safinas. Terima kasih Prof. Dr. Azmi dan syabas sekali lagi diucapkan kepada Prof. Dr. Raja Nur Safinas. Mohon jasa baik semua tetamu kehormat untuk terus kekal di hadapan Dewan bagi nyanyian lagu Ibu Kandung Suluh Budiman. Para hadirin dimohon berdiri.
Ibu kandung suluh malam gelap, bina budi penyebar tekad, pancaran semangat wajah. Ibu kandung suluh budiman, ibu pujaan kami, yang berjasa pada masyarakat, hidup gagah berani. Ibu kandung suluh budiman, dengarlah sumpah sumbangsi dan suci. Selagi hayat di kandung badan, kami tetap berbakti. Selagi hayat di kandung badan, kami tetap berbakti.
Para hadirin dipersilakan duduk. Mohon tetamu kehormat untuk terus berada di hadapan Dewan. Sebelum melabuhkan tirai acara, saya memohon izin laluan untuk kita mengadakan sesi fotografi terlebih dahulu. Dipersilakan ke semua tetamu kehormat untuk bergambar bersama Prof. Dr. Raja Nur Safinas.